coming out of a recession. And the focus that we've been trying to prevail upon the General Assembly is we need jobs packages, and we need things that are going to put people to work and put people to work quickly. What you're going to hear today is a description of legislation going through the General Assembly, and we hope to get through and signed by the governor this year, that will make Missouri as competitive as possible when vying for this burgeoning industry called data center. We know that in the next 18 months, there's going to be about $13 billion worth of investment in the creation of data centers. This is from a survey of the largest 300 corporations that have the need to have that data storage and data warehousing capability. So what we're going to do today is take you through what we see as necessary steps in the General Assembly, and also an example of an opportunity right up the road here in Columbia that we're going to hear the details of and the magnitude of what it means for that community and for that state.
We are losing out to many other states due to the incentives that are being offered. As you can see on the map here, pretty much our surrounding states are offering some incentives, and I think in Kansas alone, we've lost about $1 billion worth of investment from the data center industry. Data centers are a huge financial investment. Typical construction costs are about $1,300 per square foot, compared to about $50 a square foot for a normal warehouse construction. So it isn't, they are vital, and they do bring a lot of jobs and investment to the state. Just really quick, the data center industry is about $100 billion industry worldwide. We think that is growing at a rate of about 8% every year. In the U.S. alone, it's about $27 billion annually. And if we were just to capture 5% of the investment in the U.S., we would have about $1.5 billion private investment in data centers. Along with that, we would have about $1.3 billion in investment in IT equipment, 750 permanent jobs paying about $750,000 a year, or $75,000 a year. That's $56 million annual payroll to the state. For about $100,000 square foot data center, it costs to actually build one in Missouri about $15 million more than our neighboring states. So incentives are very important. We believe it's something that needs to be done. As Dan mentioned, the time is now. A recent study showed that 83% of large corporate data centers will be expanding in the next 12 to 24 months. So it's important that we do something this session.
In short, Missouri meets or exceeds every requirement that data center operators look for except one. And that one requirement that we fall short in is the supporting tax framework that recognizes the unique nature of the data center operations. Tracy alluded to incentives, but really I think a better way to look at this is the framework of which we're operating. And we're not really talking about incentives because there's been $15 billion spent in the data center industry for enterprise users in the last 3 years, plus or minus. And Missouri has been the recipient of around 2%. And most of the people that have built data centers in the state are coming from companies headquartered here. Now, I applaud those folks. You know, people like Emerson, Monsanto, Cerner Corporation, and others that are headquartered in Missouri and are choosing to expand in their state is absolutely what we need, and we need to cultivate their ability to do that in the future. But companies headquartered outside the state are not looking to Missouri, so we're not even getting a chance at that revenue. It's not revenue that comes to the state. So in that sense, it's more of a tax framework recognizing the unique needs of the data center industry. Mike Manos is a nationally recognized expert in this data center sector, who I've become acquainted with over the last few months, been following observation in a post that he put on his blog, loosepoles.com. And he says, while most people can guess that the need for adequate power and communication infrastructure is necessary in making data center site selection, many people are surprised that tax and regulation play such a significant role in even the initial siting of the facility. The reason is pure economics. Over the total lifetime of the installation, you need to look at the overall commitment of the region or an area to support this kind of infrastructure. In short, it's a critical element of their site selection package. The two initiatives being discussed today, the one was Tracy described it very well with the Data Center Coalition, are directly responsive to the issues raised by Mr. Manos and by the industry. As the Data Center Coalition, I actively support the efforts of the Data Center Coalition and the proposals that they've set forward as an organization, and I stand shoulder to shoulder with them here today. But I'd also like to see another tool added to the toolbox, one that has been specifically tailored to cater to specifically the enterprise user. An enterprise user is a user that builds their own freestanding facility and is really the source of some of these high-dollar capital expenditures. Microsoft announced 5 facilities over the last 3 years, and each one of them was quoted in the paper as being $550 million apiece. These are the type of facilities that are passing by Missouri and not stopping, not even giving us a second look. The certified, and the initiative that I referred to is a certified industrial zone initiative that we put forward, and I'm very grateful to have Senator Schaefer, Representative Hobbs, along with Representative Kelly, and Representative Weber leading the effort with this legislation. The Certified Industrial Zone Initiative supports Missouri's Certified Site Program. It's a new program. Of course, the first site was in Columbia, but there are other sites that have applied, and there are other communities that are pursuing this designation. It builds upon a unique program that promotes the creation of shovel-ready sites. When I talk about the economic development professionals, they all allude to the fact we need more shovel-ready sites. This program does that. The Certified Industrial Zone Initiative, by its nature, is not project-specific, but it is open to any community that has a certified site or seeks to pursue one. There's no specific geographic limitation on this.
There are a lot of things that make Missouri the perfect place for this industry, and we have to take advantage of that. Senate Bill 999, which is the bill that I've got, which will hopefully get through and make this project possible. We passed it out of committee unanimously. One of the biggest questions I got from every member of the committee was, is this specific to just this Ewing site in Boone County? My answer to that is no. This project may happen to be farther along than other projects. I think Senator Griesheimer has a data center in Washington County. He says it's fantastic. It's generating a lot of revenue. But this bill and this concept that you're hearing about, and Jim may talk about the Ewing Center, but it is not specific to just that project. This bill, essentially what it would do, it does a lot of things, but the big picture is it takes what are certified sites, and that's a program that's already in place by DED to certify something, and the best way to describe that is they identify it as a shovel-ready site. And the statute would allow qualification of a certified site for enhanced enterprise zone tax credits, which already exist. They're maxed out, they're capped at $24 million. It does not increase the cap. But for those legislators in the room, this is the fight that you're going to have for your district and getting jobs and expanding the economy, getting people employed, developing additional revenue for your public schools. Because rather than going backwards and eating our seed corn and saying, no, we don't want to do anything, we don't want to be competitive, because we want to do what's politically expedient and solve our short-term budget problem, without looking at the long term of where we're going to be in 10 or 20 years when these projects, again, which are going to be built somewhere else, and they're going to generate jobs, and they're going to generate revenue for those other states because we didn't compete at the time that we needed to compete.
What we're seeking right now is parity with these other states. You can see what they've got on the table to compete and beat us at getting these opportunities. And for us, when we got involved in the Data Center Coalition, we have been amazed at the Missouri Chamber. This is why we are very proud to do an event like this in the third to last week of session to underscore the importance of this. We're putting our good name out front on this and happy to do that. You would not believe, if I go on 5 appointments in a day, how many of those major corporations are among that list that are looking to create a data center and looking elsewhere. This is real. It's like Jim said, it's real jobs now.